Hello, this is Moon from Raccoon Roll. This is our first attempt to make a new series on this channel. I was planning to have a guest on this Halloween special, but unfortunately our schedules did not match. This was not originally the topic for this episode. The original plan was to review Halloween updates in games that we play like Kartrider Rush, Final Fantasy and World Flipper. So I had just decided to continue with a different topic. So without further delay, I welcome you to our Halloween special. The photos that I will present here were taken from the book by Jamie Lococo, titled Ghost in Photos, published around 2005. The first photo I will show was taken in Butchart Gardens in Canada. Here is the story. In 1982, the daughter of a manager in a rubber company showed me an extraordinary picture taken at Butchart Gardens in Victoria, Canada. According to her, only her female Japanese friend and herself were being photographed. There were other promenaders behind them, but definitely there was no one behind the trees. When the film was developed, their picture showed images of two giant people, a man and a woman, way above the trees looking up at the horizon. They asked around the gardens if anyone recognized the images, but no one did. My guess is that they could be images of the people who owned the garden or the ones who developed the film. No one really knows, but the sudden appearance of the extra images scared the two women. I brought the mysterious picture to the Butchart Gardens historian Mr. Churchill, who in turn called Ms. Watson, its official photographer. But even her did not recognize the two giants. When I saw the picture of the founder's grandson, Mr. Ian Ross, in a brochure, I noticed some resemblance between him and the giant in the picture. But the two officials said, "No way that this picture resemble Mr. Ross. There is only one flaw in my theory. Mr. Ross died in 1997. Therefore he was still alive when the photo was taken. So the mystery is still unsolved." My take on this is that the photo may be fabricated, but then again, it was the 80s and to do such a task for no reason or gain of some sort is quite rubbish. Since this photo did not even gain notoriety of sorts. I tried to search for this incident online but could not find it. The only proof that this photo exists is a 30-second clip on a local news Halloween special and the said book in which this photo appeared. Lastly, double exposure could not be the culprit as the photo appears to rather heavily modified or could be the real thing. After much thought, I think I will agree with the author that this mystery is still unsolved. For our next photo, did a dead relative visited her sister before her death? On 1989, Ruth celebrated her 30th birthday by having a party for her friends. Several pictures were taken and one particular photo with her friend, Tess, that was taken at the table. When the photo was developed the next day, an image of a smiling man appeared beside them on the photo. 2 days after the party, Ruth died in a freak motor accident. Her uncle took care of her funeral and was shown the pictures taken during her birthday. He then recognized the smiling man at the photo as her dead younger brother, who died 3 years before. The author of the book stated that this was not the case of another double exposure incident as the film was new. Could this be that the previous film was not fully wound up? The author also stressed that there is no sufficient motive for anyone to do that. Furthermore, the film was developed by a commercial rapid Photoshop, using an automatic process without the use of human hands. My take on this is that there is several flaws on this photo incident. If you look closely at the alleged smiling man, you can faintly see other lights that appear to be standard office lighting. The theory of the film not being wound up becomes the rational explanation, but if the uncle states that the smiling man is her dead brother, and her death several days after the incident makes this photo mysterious. I am convinced that this photo is just another incident of a double exposure. But the events surrounding this incident says otherwise. Is it just coincidence? Truly life is stranger than fiction. Before I end the video, I would like to tell the story on how I ended up with this book. As I have said in the beginning of the video, that this was not the real content for our Halloween special and I have to resort to a new content. I was thinking for a new content and suddenly remembered that I used to be fascinated about alleged ghost photos. I tried searching first for SFOG's website, since they have a collection of ghost photos from Asia, but I found out that the website lost a lot of its original content. I remembered this book and tried searching for it online to buy a copy of it. I did find it and was delivered to me after 4 days of purchasing it. The book was not new, I bought it used, but what surprised me is where the book was originally purchased. In 2010, I first encountered this book in a bookstore that specializes in a lot of titles not regularly found on commercial bookstores. They had a copy of this book. The book was published in 2005 and was not republished, so copies of it became scarce. The bookstore only had one copy. I read it and wanted to purchase it, but I was short on money, and when I returned to the store several months after, I found out the book was sold. After finally owning this book and have read it again, I noticed the price tag at the back of the book. The price tag was from the same bookstore where I first saw this book. Coincidence? Things really do have a way of returning to us. Thank you and happy Halloween.